Oh my God, it's a magical unicorn! Okay. She wears glasses too. One of those mornings, right? So good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Dayton. If you're with us for the very first time, a very special welcome to you. I'm sure you will be relieved to know that I am not our community's spiritual leader. Reverend Cece Coltrane, Reverend Cece will be back with us next week. I'm sure you will also be relieved to know that this is not my usual Sunday attire. Tuesday. Excuse me. Today is, as Becky announced, Family Sunday, and we're also very close to Halloween, so thank you for dressing up. We have a very special program for you today. Giving our reading and invocation this morning is Linda Andriaco. Jerry Bloomgold is our vigil holder. And Linda Andriaco and Mark Fowler will be doing our interfaith candle lighting. And the interfaith candle lighting reminds us of the many sources of wisdom and truth that are available to us from all of the world's religions. Now, normally at this time, we would ask our kids to get up and stand with our teachers, and we would do a blessing. They're not going to do that today. They're going to be here with us. But I would still like to say a blessing for our children on Family Sunday. So if you'll join me in a moment for that. So here and now I rest and I rejoice in this place of love, this place where God is, where Source is, where life is. And I know that our children are a part of that. They are a shining light in all of our lives and here in this community. And so I simply say thank you. I simply say thank you for all that they are and all that they are becoming. And I let this go and I let it be. And so it is.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
The first candle is lit for the Lorax, you see, and everyone else who speaks for the trees. Thank you so much, Stephanie. The next candle is lit for Mr. Brown who moos and everyone else who loves animals too. The next candle is lit for the redfish and bluefish and everyone else who supports a child's wish. The next candle is lit for Sam I Am and his green eggs and ham, and for all those for whom ending hunger is the plan. The next candle is lit for Horton who hears, and for all of you who walk through your fears. The next candle is lit for the Cat in the Hat, and everyone who knows family is where it's at. The last candle is lit in honor of the Grinch. May all of us find kindness and generosity a cinch. Today's reading is from Dr. Seuss. Fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living. It's a way of looking at life through the wrong end of a telescope, and that enables you to laugh at all life's realities. Let's take these words into the silence for a moment. So God is love, life, and everything that is involved. And God is happy and generous and wondrous. And we are all part of this happiness, this wonderful reality called life. And we are one with it. I am thankful for everyone here who is participating, who's enjoying the fun of the day. I am thankful for all the practitioners, the musicians, and everyone taking part in this service. I'm especially thankful for Stephanie and her humor and everything that she brings to the pulpit, and she is going to be an awesome minister. And I say thank you, God, and so it is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Yes. Well, what do we have today? It's called The Brave Unicorn and the Courageous Monster, a spiritual fairy tale. Once upon a time, because that's how these things start, in a fantastic kingdom far, far away, there lived a unicorn. And like so many of the magical creatures in this kingdom, the unicorn loved to run and play, laugh and dance, and eat too much candy. That's why unicorns are full-figured, you know. This unicorn's favorite thing to do was leap high in the air and leave a rainbow behind her. I bet you didn't know that's where rainbows came from, did you? The backsides of unicorns. This unicorn, however, had a secret. She was afraid. She was afraid others in the kingdom would find out she wasn't very pretty. This is what the unicorn believed about herself, and she wanted to make sure no one else found out. So the unicorn was mean. She would make fun of others and say terrible things to them. She would kick dirt on them with her magical hooves and roll her eyes and flick her tail at them as if to say, "You are so beneath me." But the truth was, the unicorn thought she was the worst magical creature in all of the kingdom. So to hide her pain and to hide her fear, she was mean to others. Now one day, the Woodland Sprites had had enough. And if you didn't know it, sprites are feisty. But the unicorn loved the sprites. They were small and delicate, and they knew everything about the woods. The unicorn thought they were beautiful and smart and fun and just everything she was convinced she was not. So when she walked out of her house one morning to find a row of angry-looking sprites waiting for her, the unicorn was worried. "You're not nice," one of the sprites said. "We don't like that you're not nice. Shape up, or we're not talking to you anymore." The unicorn gasped. She thought the only thing worse than having to hide her secret from everyone was being ignored. So she tried. She tried to be nice. She tried not to say ugly things, to not kick dirt or flick her tail or roll her eyes. But her fear of everyone finding out she wasn't pretty was bigger than her fear of not having the sprites pay attention to her. So soon, no one would talk to her. No one would play with her. And worst of all, no one would share their candy with the unicorn. Not even the black licorice that nobody liked. So the unicorn ran away. She ran far away from the kingdom. She ran through fields and meadows and forests. She ran and ran and ran and walked. Full-figured. She ran until she couldn't see the great castle of the kingdom anymore. And then she lay down in the cool grass and she cried. She tried so hard to keep her secret, but everyone had found out anyway. She'd been so mean to others, they saw that she wasn't pretty. The unicorn laid in the grass for a long time, wondering how she could ever go home. She knew she needed help. And after a time, she jumped up, determined to find that help. She walked along the edge of the great, dark forest that bordered the magical kingdom and soon saw a path. The trees were big and full, and the forest felt cool as she walked down the path. And before long, she saw a magical creature sitting on a log up ahead. The unicorn knew by the creature's beautiful, ornate wings that she was one of the wisest of all magical beings, a fairy. This fairy seemed to be deep in meditation, so the unicorn approached carefully. "Ahem," she said. "I need help, please." The fairy's eyes flew open. "Oh, hello! I was just listening to my fairy guides. My name is Jerry. What's yours?" "Unicorn?" "What an unusual name. Unicorn." "My guides have told me exactly what you need," Jerry said. "You need to go to the Cave of Wisdom. Are you a good listener?" The unicorn thought for a moment. "No," she finally admitted. "No, I'm not a good listener." Jerry nodded sagely. That's always how I know best what to do. I listen. You should work on your listening skills on your way to the Cave of Wisdom. It's that way. The unicorn thanked the listening fairy and walked further into the forest. And before long, she came to a meadow and saw the most amazing magical creature. It was another fairy, and she was spinning and spinning and spinning, turning round and round and round like a top, her long blonde hair flying out behind her. The unicorn couldn't help herself. It looked like so much fun. She ran out into the meadow with the fairy and began to spin and spin and spin and spin until she threw up a rainbow. Oh, I'm so sorry. The fairy looked at the rainbow. Wow, she said. My name's Lenza. What's yours? Unicorn? What a cool name, Unicorn. Are you looking for the Cave of Wisdom? Lenza asked. The unicorn nodded, as best she could. I'm also learning to listen. Lenza smiled brightly. Make sure you listen to the music of life, she said, and then dance to it. The Cave of Wisdom is that way. The unicorn thanked the dancing fairy and stumbled out of the meadow. As she walked deeper into the woods, the unicorn began to hear a voice. Surely it was magic. It was big and bold and full of joy. As the unicorn listened, she began to dance and prance down the path.
That's fun.
And then she saw her, there, next to a great tree, another fairy, singing for all she was worth. She was worth a lot. The unicorn couldn't help herself and ran right up to the fairy. Hi, shouted the fairy. I thought I was focused. You're awesome. My name's Becky. What's yours? Unicorn. Well, hey, Unicorn, are you looking for the Cave of Wisdom? The unicorn nodded. But your voice is so beautiful, she said. I'm learning to listen and dance, and oh, I wish I could sing. Becky laughed. Of course you can sing. We all sing the song of life. The unicorn shook her head sadly. But my singing is as ugly as me. Becky reached up and took the unicorn's face in her hands and pulled her down until they were nose to nose. Bull, Becky said. If you are willing to listen for the music of life and dance to it, then you can sing. You have to. You're the only one who can sing your song. The Cave of Wisdom is that way. The unicorn smiled and slowly backed away. She thanked the singing fairy and went further down the path. I'm the only one that can sing my song, she said. She tried to hum a little and decided it was worth working on. And after a bit, the unicorn came upon a cabin in the woods. The most wonderful smells were coming from the house, so she stuck her head in through the window. Sheesh, these fairies are busy, she thought. For there in the kitchen of the cabin was a tall, willowy fairy baking up a storm. Eggshells, almond milk, cocoa, peanut butter, sugar, but no flour, flew through the air. What are you making? It smells delicious. Hello, the fairy shouted. Sheesh, you scared me. I'm Lana. What's your name? Hungry. I'm hungry. Well, okay then, hungry, Lana replied. Are you looking for the Cave of Wisdom? Yes, said the unicorn. And I'm learning to listen and dance and sing. What are you doing? I'm giving to others, Lana said. I'm giving them something from my heart. When you learn to listen, you don't just hear your own song, you hear the song of others too. And sometimes you hear what they need. Lana squinted at the unicorn. And you need a brownie. Cave of Wisdom is that way. The unicorn thanked the baking fairy and went in the direction she had pointed, munching away on her brownie. I can't believe this doesn't have flour in it. Soon she saw a fairy sitting up in a tree. Had the sun not glinted off a beautiful piece of jewelry the fairy was making, the unicorn might not have seen her. Why are you all the way up there? She asked. The fairy looked down at her. It's good to have alone time, she said. Are you looking for the Cave of Wisdom? The unicorn nodded. Yeah. I'm Marty, the fairy said. What's your name? Unicorn. Marty stopped what she was doing. What's that? Unicorn? Oh. Okay. Why did you say it's good to have alone time? The unicorn asked. Because it lets you listen to what's really going on inside you, Marty said. You should try it sometime. Cave of Wisdom is that way. The unicorn thanked the fairy and walked down the path. I hate being alone, she muttered. All I can think about is how ugly I am. But when she thought about how peaceful Marty seemed, and about what all the other fairies had taught her, she knew Marty was right. Why won't these columns add up right? The unicorn stopped, startled by a voice nearby. Gosh darn it. Then she spotted her, yet another fairy. This one a little redhead, with a pencil in her hand, a ledger in her lap, and glasses perched on the end of her nose. Oh, hello, the unicorn said. Whoo! The fairy shouted. Her pencil flew out of her hand, the ledger fell out of her lap, and her glasses flew off her face. The unicorn was so frightened by the fairy's cry that she stomped and jumped, and sure enough, crunch. I'm so sorry. The fairy waved her hand. I have a million pair of glasses. My name's Linda. What's yours? Unicorn. Okay. Are you looking for the Cave of Wisdom? Linda asked. The unicorn nodded. What were you doing? I keep all the books for the fairies in the forest, Linda replied. When they turn in their receipts, anyway. That doesn't sound like much fun, the unicorn said. It's a lot of fun when everything adds up right, Linda replied. But more than anything, I get to see all the fairies, and we get to laugh and laugh together. You like to laugh, don't you? The unicorn shrugged. I guess I don't see any real reason to laugh. Well, I don't think so, Linda said. In this life, we get to sing and dance and love and laugh. Come on, let's laugh. Linda threw her hands in the air and began to laugh. And laugh and laugh and laugh. And pretty soon the unicorn couldn't help but join in. And before she knew it, she was laying on the ground laughing. Her full-figured sides hurt. There were tears streaming down her face. And everything seemed a little bit better. Phew, Linda said. That was a good one. Make sure you welcome all the joy and laughter in your life. The Cave of Wisdom is that way. Now, what did I do with my glasses? The unicorn thanked the laughing fairy and quickly trotted away before the fairy remembered. Crunch. She felt lighter having laughed so much, but the unicorn was still concerned about how she would ever be able to go home. She had learned so much from the fairies, but she still hadn't even gotten to the Cave of Wisdom. She hoped that the fairy she saw up ahead with her nose deep in a book could tell her how close she was. Excuse me, the unicorn said. Can you help me? Oh my, exclaimed the fairy. She looked up from her book, her bright blue eyes wide. Well, hello there. My name's Judy. What's yours? Unicorn. What an interesting name, Judy said. I'll have to look that up. I love learning new things, don't you? Are you looking for the Cave of Wisdom? Yes, the unicorn replied, and I'm hoping to learn if I'm close or not. Judy smiled. Why, yes, you're very close now. Why are you looking for it? The unicorn stopped short. I don't know, she admitted. Someone told me to go to it. I just want to go home. And I want to be a better friend. Judy said. It looks like you have lots of things to learn. That's good, you know. I never want to stop learning. The more we learn about ourselves. Cave of Wisdom is that way. The unicorn thanked the scholarly fairy and walked to the edge of the forest. She could see the Cave of Wisdom on the other side of the clearing. Do you like to think? The unicorn nearly jumped out of her horn. There was a fairy perched on the rock to her left. I'm sorry? Do you like to think? The fairy repeated. I love to think. I love to think about the things that I think and the things that I could think about and the things that I've already thought about. I can think about anything and it becomes real in my mind. Don't you think that's something? I'm Marge, by the way. What's your name? Star. My name is Star. Star. I like that. Are you headed to the Cave of Wisdom? I think so, the unicorn replied. Marge laughed. Well, just really think about what you want, and you can make it real. The unicorn approached the cave cautiously. She couldn't see very far into it at all. She didn't even know what to look for. Much to her relief, one more fairy appeared from the shadows near the opening of the cave. She was a very small fairy, with bright eyes and an infectious smile. Hi, I'm Fairy Godmother Cece, she said. Fairy Godmother Cece? The unicorn thought. I thought a fairy godmother would be taller. She kept this to herself, though. I bet you want to go into the Cave of Wisdom, don't you? Fairy Godmother Cece said. Well, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for just the right magical creature to go in there and root out the monster. Now, the unicorn knew she needed help. She knew she needed help if she was going to go home and be a better friend. But nobody had said anything about this monster business. How am I supposed to defeat a monster, she asked. You'll know what to do, Fairy Godmother Cece said. Just hit him with plenty of love. The unicorn wasn't sure what love had to do with anything, but as she walked past the fairy godmother, she said, Aren't you going in with me? Fairy Godmother Cece crossed her arms. Nope, not tall enough. The unicorn tiptoed into the cave. It was too dark to see at first, but once her magical eyes had adjusted to the gloom, she saw it. A terrible-looking creature curled up in a far corner. It was lumpy and bumpy and scaly and slimy. The unicorn shook with fear. Hello, she whispered. Can you help me? The fairies sent me. I want to go home, and I want to be a good friend. Go away, unicorn, she heard the monster say. No one wants my help. But I do. I want your help. Then take off your mask. The monster sat up then, and the unicorn saw that they had on a mask. It was plain and dull and not scary at all. But I'm not wearing a mask, she said. Why are you? We all wear masks, the monster replied. We wear our fear like it's some sort of armor. I wear a mask because I show people the truth, and they find that scary. You're right, the unicorn said. I'm afraid others will see that I'm ugly, so I wear a mask of mean. But that's what makes me ugly. The monster took off their mask then, and hiding behind that plainness and dullness was the most beautiful face the unicorn had ever seen. It was every color and every shape. It was every face the unicorn had ever seen, and 1,000 more she had never seen. And then suddenly, the unicorn saw her own face, looking right back at her. And she was beautiful. The unicorn began to cry. You see, the monster said, this is why I hide away. I make everyone cry. They reached for their mask. "No, no," the unicorn cried. "Please don't put it back on. Please come with me. Everyone needs to see you. I will be your very best friend. Because I understand now." And the unicorn did understand. She understood why she had worn a mask and why everyone else did too. But it's always the fear, always the mask that's ugly. She understood that life wanted her to sing and dance and laugh and love, to do things for others that came from her heart, and never stop learning, and always hear what she was thinking, and first and always to listen. Listen to her heart, listen to others, listen to life, to take time for herself to remember how to do all those things. Because those were the ways she kept her mask off. So the monster went with her, and they were great friends. And sometimes it was hard. Being a place of truth is sometimes. But they were brave and they were courageous. They were afraid, but they did it anyway. And they were loving. And there was an awful lot of happily ever after. Will you anchor this moment with me in prayer now? So here and now, in this place of love and truth and wonder, I know that God is. Life is. The song of life is sung here. The dance of life is danced here with friends. The love of life is here as each and every one of us. I know this is a place of divine truth. This is a place where masks come off and we celebrate the beauty of each and every one of us. Oh, and I am grateful. I am grateful to be a part of this community, and to see love, and to see truth in every face. So I let this go, knowing it is already life in action. And we say together, and so it is. opportunity to give generously in support of our spiritual community. Generosity is the natural expression of love, and I know you love this community. So let's take a moment to be grateful for all that we are, all that we have, and all that we receive here and elsewhere in our lives. So from that gratitude, take your gift in your hands or in your heart and affirm with me. I am joyful.
I am joyful.
I am free.
I am free.
I am grateful.
I am grateful.
I give with gratitude.
I give with gratitude.
And I say yes
And I say yes
to all the good life has to offer.
to all the good life has to offer.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh, it sure is. Sure is.
Yes, we can play with girl.
Okay, so a few announcements here. If you're relatively new to our community, please join us on November 5th, November 19th, and December 3rd for the Discover class. You can sign up on the bulletin board right over there. Please do so if you're interested so we can make sure to have enough materials and enough food for everyone. Yes, you get fed. Let's see, placing orders for Rory the Lion or one of the Avon grooming packs has been extended 2 weeks. Right over there where Miss Peggy is standing. Peggy will take your orders, take your orders and your payments. The center receives part of the purchase price and will give the toys or the body care packs to kids and teens who are having a difficult time in their lives. Next Sunday, daylight savings time ends. Okay, remember to fall back 1 hour when you go to bed on Saturday night, or you'll be the only one here. Do not miss the Bingo Bash, November 18th, 5 to 8 p.m. In addition to bingo, there will be a quilt raffle, a 50-50 raffle, snacks, pop, and more. You can buy tickets now. I will find someone to sell those tickets. Oh, Clara's here. Look for the skunk.
What?
The skunk. No, really.
It's smelly. It's smelly skunk.
She will sell you your tickets. And you can also come in, please. She smells beautiful.
She's had some Avon.
She's had some Avon. There you go. You can also come in during the week and buy your tickets as well from Clara or I. Please make sure to look at the last page of your bulletin insert for the calendar of upcoming events and at the flyers inserted in the bulletin today. There's a lot of really good stuff happening. Now, I would like to take a moment because it's Family Sunday, and this also is pretty close to the 1-year mark for me taking over as the administrator of the youth program. So I would like to take just a moment to do something special. If I call your name, please stand. Please stand, okay? Jen Brust, Kathy Claude, Mark Fowler, Carol Huseman, Teresa Napke, Angie Smith, John Taylor, and Becky Victor, who's already standing. Folks, these are the people who in the last year have volunteered with your children. So if you like what they're learning, if you like what they're coming home with, you can thank these people right here and anybody else whose name I called that's not here today. Please give them an extra hug. Please also know if you would like to give to the center in this way. As far as I'm concerned, not only are these people giving their time to this community, they're giving their time to the future of this community. If that's the way you would like to give your time, if this community means that much to you, there's a sign-up sheet over there. It just says, be a part of our future. Go ahead and sign up, and I'll give you a call, and we'll get you into some training. Another way that you can say yes to this community, to say, yes, I love this place, and I want other people to love it too, is to be a part of the welcome team. Somebody walks in that's new, and you say hi, show them around, and share the love with them. So that's 2 ways that you can be involved here today, both as a youth volunteer or as a welcome team. So if you'd like prayer after service, our licensed practitioners would love to pray with you. Just look for any of us in a white or teal prayer shawl and go ahead and ask. The practitioners are really good at seeing the spiritual truth for you. It's our gift to you on Sunday. We call it a 1-minute miracle. You can also put a written prayer in the box back by the table, and we'll pick that up after service. Okay, here we go. Everybody take a few minutes to hug folks around you after service. Talk to somebody you don't know very well. Hugging causes your body to secrete good chemicals and improve your mental and emotional health. It makes you more like a unicorn. Thanks to everybody who made this morning's service possible, our ushers and greeters, our practitioners, the welcome team, the Higher Mind Band, the kids, all of you, and especially all of you in costume. So please stand for our closing affirmation, and after that, our closing song is Hallelujah. Thank you. So please affirm with me. I am brave.
I am brave.
I am courageous.
I am courageous.
I am love.
I am love.
And I am free.
I am free.
So it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Steph.